Chapter 22. Where do you get your map? This is from Overwhelmed to I Got This. You're also going to need your workbook. Okay. And again, I would take some notes on this section. I would take a lot of notes. This is going to be one that when you're done, especially with the workbook section, you're probably going to need to pause. If you're really doing this from scratch, I wouldn't move forward on your operations of your organization until you've done this. If you really want to go from overwhelmed to I got this chapter is key. All right, so let's talk a little bit about why this is key. I'm sure you're looking at this going, but Kate, there's like 2.5, maybe 3.5 pages. Okay, like the branch out does say to block 2 days. 2 days. So we're not messing around, okay? And it's 2 days for tiger timing, and it's for planning. Now, let's talk road trips. Let's talk about when we think we need a map. So a lot of times we will head out on a map or head out on a journey, and we're going to pull out our trusty little phone. So for those of you who wonder, half the time I like scurry over here, my phone's here. We're going to pull out our map, and nowadays we can just Google and type in a map and see where we're going to go. But chances are, when you decided that you wanted to expand or start a child care program, you may or may not have had your map done before you made that decision. Even as a director, you need to know what's in the map. You need to know where you're going. So there's a couple of things to think about here. Is your organization privately owned? In other words, are you a for-profit business? Or are you a nonprofit business? Because if you're sitting here going, but I work for the school or I work for a church, we don't have a business plan. Somewhere you have a strategic plan. It's the same thing. Even if you are a large for-profit, privately run, or even corporate run, everybody's, you got shareholders or you have investors, there's still a business plan. Somebody has a plan. Somebody has the roadmap. Somebody has a compass. Somebody knows the plan of the business. 60% of the folks who take our director credentialing program work for or are small mom and pop business owners. Now, small being 1 or 2 programs, not small because they don't have a lot of revenue. Even a mom or pop single program can still be $1 million business. And we get excited by childcare centers that realize that they are $1 million businesses because they stop thinking about themselves as tiny businesses. So we need to do better about thinking about a small business as being small in revenue or small in profitability. All of them can be large in revenue and large in profitability if you play your cards right. So let's talk about how we can be profitable. That's what we want. And it comes back to you as the director, you as the owner. Even if you are with a school, church-based program, it comes down to dollars and cents. You're there on a mission. The mission doesn't necessarily mean they want you to give away all the money. They still probably need you to break even. Some actually see this as a mission to help pay for part of the building. So you need to be honest. You need to sit down with somebody in a private setting, and it may just be you and a finance director, you and an executive director, you and an owner, you and somebody at a corporate level, and you need to find out the goal. You need to know the numbers. You need to find out what they're expecting. As a director, you cannot do your job if you don't know what the numbers are, because you need to know if those numbers are realistic. If they have these like huge numbers in their mind and there's no way to get there, even if you're 100% full or 100% at capacity, then you need to know that. If they expect you to be there because you're at 100% capacity and everybody is paying full tuition, but yet they want you to have, 75% of your clientele from, scholarship or CCMS or government subsidy, that means that they haven't done the math. So again, you need to know. So a business plan is just that. It is the plan. It is more than the budget. It is more than the marketing plan. So the business plan is the marketing plan. It is the budget. It is the marketing plan. It is the budget. But it's also, how do they work together? It is resumes. It is a living document. It is your roadmap on where you're going. So between the book and the workbook, there are components that help you start to put this together. Business plans are often used when you're trying to secure financing. I want to have a real honest talk with you about financing. So for those of you who don't know, before I actually came to early childcare, I actually was a certified business analyst with the Small Business Administration, and that was a long time ago. Some things have changed, but a lot of things haven't. So as you're preparing your business plan, you need to make sure that you're preparing yourself personally. So you need to prepare your personal finances. You need to make sure you have all your ducks in order, right? So do you have personal money saved? Do you have personal money to invest? How is your personal credit? Do you have your business all ready to go? Have you decided if you're going to be an LLC, an S Corp? Are you going to be a sole proprietor? What kind of money do you have to put into the business? What is your personal investment? Do you have investors? Do you have a profit and loss statement? So these, do you have a cash flow statement? These are all parts of the budget. So you need a startup budget. You need cash flow. You need to know where your money's coming, where it's going. You need to know what kind of equipment you're going to need. You're going to need a market analysis. So in other words, how many other childcare centers are there around? Who's your competition? And don't tell me you don't have any, because I'm sure you do. Even if it's registered family homes, even if it's just grandmas living in the neighborhood, those are still your competition. What is going to make your program unique? These are all things that would be in your business plan. If you're looking for financing, a couple of things you're going to need to think about. What hard assets are you financing? It is going to be very, very hard for you to finance what a bank is going to call soft assets, poise, and payroll. They will finance, and a lease. They will finance you buying a building. So keep that in mind. If you are not putting any hard money into the loan and all you're going to do is sweat equity, and you want to draw a salary that they may think is out of line for normal salary ranges in that industry within 6 months, you better show some reasons why. So you need to be really clear. Okay. This is where I strongly urge you as a director to have all your personal finances in order. Make sure that everything's paid. Make sure you have 6 to 12 months of personal money in reserve, and make sure that you have 6 months of money in reserve of operating capital to run your business, plus having a down payment. Okay, whether you do this through investors, whether you do this through personal funds. So as you've put together your business plan, please do not just go online and buy a business plan. You can Google and find those, but a bank's going to know. Okay, the SBA is going to know. A banker you're working with is going to know. An investor you're working with is going to know. You need to be able to answer the questions about, your market analysis, about your community. Have you done the work? Have you done the legwork? Do you know how many families in your community have kids under the age of 5? What are the major employers in your community? What is the need? How many elementary schools are there? Does your elementary school offer pre-K? Okay, if it does, what does that do to the market related to pre-K? Again, what are you doing to set yourself apart? If you aren't really sure the answer to some of those questions, this is where, in addition to getting all kinds of training that's free from the SBA, from the Service Corps of Retired Executives, finding books, finding women business mentors, reach out to us, talk to us, let us help you, let us guide you. This is where Carrie makes an awesome coach. Carrie has done this not once, not twice, but 4 times. Okay. I have done this. Okay. This is where you have to really do your homework on who is it you're going to work with? What kind of business coach do you want? This is not designed to be a sales pitch, but I want you to really think about and ask the person you're working with, have they actually done this? And there's a difference between a coach and a consultant. So make sure that you do that piece as well. What is their training? What is their background? And make sure that there's a fit. Because again, if there's not a fit, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if they're well qualified, but do make sure that you do your homework. Okay, so I'll back off my soapbox. But we want to make sure that you are putting together your roadmap, because I wouldn't go from Texas to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina without a map. And I don't want you to go try to start your childcare business and be $1 million business without having a business plan. You'll get there, but it'll be bumpy, and it might take you a little longer, and it might cost you some extra money that maybe it shouldn't have. If you have got a quality business plan and you've got your GPS on, it doesn't matter if your phone dies, because you got your business plan and you got your compass. So, and if you're really smart, you also got somebody riding shotgun with you. Not telling you have to have somebody riding shotgun. That's the best way to make sure that this business is going to be successful, and you're going to get there in the best amount of time and the way it needs to be. All right. So next chapter, we'll be back.